All right, guys. What's going on? Yes, we made it. Guys, we made it. Today is December 21st. And that means that this is the last stream of this year. Okay? So we are going to be offline for a long time after today. Nothing is going to happen on 28th, nothing is going to happen on the 4th, and the next time probably we're going to be back online on January 11th. So that's going to take a little bit for us to meet. So today is the day. Today is the day to resolve everything that you had burning in yourself, whatever questions you have for this past year, for the 2024, everything that you have unresolved, we need to resolve today. Okay, so don't be shy. Any questions, wherever you want, we're going to have 30 to 45 minutes. I have the topics that I want to cover, absolutely, as always. I want to cover today the top 5 inspiring immigration cases of 2023. And of course, through those cases, I want to be discussing the strategies that you want to use to avoid maybe common mistakes, maybe mistakes that may be lurking somewhere in the dark. Okay, so and you guys let me know if you want more of the specific topic or more of specific professions, because look, we have more than 500 approvals this year. Okay, more than 500 cases. So that means that we have almost every profession you can imagine. All right, like anything from business, from STEM category, from sport, from art, and whatever that is. So drop whatever questions you want for today's discussion, and I will be more than happy to answer those questions. And of course, let's first speak about the recent approvals. December is very fruitful for the approvals. We have probably around 35 approved cases, and we have about, well, the plan is let me take a look. The plan is 33 cases that we have left to file. I think realistically we're going to file about 15 to 20 cases. So that means that we're going to have about 15-20 approvals for the rest of the December, and we have a bunch of cases pending right now. As of today, we have an approval for EB3 case, and you guys know that EB3 cases, they take forever. Okay, they take forever. With this particular client, we started working about 2 years ago, and there you go, 2 years passed, and we got an approval for EB3. There was no problems in the case. Apparently, so the way it looked, it was perfect. The prevailing wage was good. It happened within 7 months. Then the recruiting went smooth. There were no people wanting, and she's a designer, by the way, she's a designer. Then the perm certification was no problem, and then the immigration petition was no problem. However, there was a little let's call it a hump. Like, I don't call it an obstacle, I'll call it a hump in that case. And that hump was that we have to provide the tax declarations for the employer for the year when the perm was filed and approved. Okay, so the perm was filed and approved in 2022. Okay, so actually no, it was filed in 2022, and so we had to provide the taxes for 2022, but the immigration case was filed in 2023, and sometimes the USCIS requires to show the tax declarations for the current year when the petition is filed. So, which means that it could have happened, and in this case, I don't want to say there was nothing to show, okay? There was something to show, but whatever we had to show for 2023 could have been a problem, okay? Could have been a problem. So, because thank God it didn't happen and it got approved, so congratulations to our client, and she's gonna get the green card very soon. Because remember, guys, and I told you that last time, that for EB3 and EB2, when you go through the labor certification, the priority date is when the perm was filed, submitted, okay? Not the day when you filed your I-140. Very important to remember and understand, so you don't make those common mistakes when you provide the papers that you didn't have to provide, and those papers become somehow an issue in the case, okay? So that's why you have to work with experienced attorney. Okay, let's see. We got one question, guys. The first question is always the most important because it opens up a Pandora box, and like you become more relaxed, and you know, no problem. So let's see what we got here. It's Lily Vane. How much chance to get EB1A without an award for person who currently have six-figure business in the USA? Really good question, Lily Vane. It's a really good question because let's take a step back. Let's take a step back and remember that EB1A has 10 criteria. Okay, 10 criteria, and out of these 10, we can specifically use 8 criteria for the purpose of business category. Right? Because you guys know that there are 2 criteria in EB1A that have to do only with art, all right, and maybe sport. So we have 8 criteria available, and out of these 8 criteria, we need to prove that we satisfy at least 3 of them. Okay? I never filed a single case in my career where we claim on the 3 criteria. Okay, I think that's it may be approved, but I think it's not going to be approved. Okay, it's just not enough. It's just, I believe it's not. Although the law says that yes, 3 is good enough, in my experience, it's not enough. Maybe not in the objective analysis of your petition, but in overall merits. Okay, first the officer looks for 3 criteria that are satisfied. Then he goes to the subjective analysis of the case, the overall merits of the case. And he looks at everything. If whatever we provided raises a person to the top of the field. Okay? And then he goes to the 3rd stage where he analyzes the benefit to the US. Okay? So 3 stages. I filed the cases. My recipe is very easy. We need to file 6 criteria. Okay? Why? Because if the officer doesn't like 2 or maybe even 3, then he's still gonna go through the objective analysis, and going to the subjective analysis with 6 criteria is very powerful. Okay, because there's a lot. Okay, he didn't count that in. He didn't use that to satisfy the criteria for original criteria in objective analysis. But he's going to use that information to see the overall merits, overall achievements, and the recognition of the person. So, going back to your exact question, Lily Vane, if there are no awards. I do believe that awards are not the most important the criterion in this area. If you have awards, that's good. That's good. But that's not a must. If you don't have awards, you probably have to have judging the work of others or contribution to the field. Okay? If you have neither of those, no awards, no judging the work of others, and no contribution to the field, you probably have a weaker case. because what's left? Associations, which is really hard to prove. The press, okay, press is a good criterion. You have critical role, you have income, and you have scientific publications. Okay. Yes, sometimes I file EB1A cases with 5 criteria, and I would say 10, maybe 15% of the cases that I file a year for whatever category are 5 criteria, and most of them, if not all, still get approval. Okay, like the recent case, the Indian businessman in the sphere of pharmaceuticals. We had 5 criteria for him, no problem, but they were very good criteria, like a lot of patents, big income, huge companies. He was working in Ukraine, and he had a good press, and I think a bunch of scientific publications. Okay, so 5 criteria was good because they're very strong case. Okay, another example of 5 criteria in EB1A for a client who created Avatar. Maybe some of you guys even use that that soft. It's a competitor to Photoshop, but it's free. And it has a lot of options that the Photoshop has. So that guy, he was an inventor of Avatar back in 2011 or whatever, and basically he had 5 criteria, all of them stemming from one invention, basically, right? So his Avatar, the soft, is the contribution in the field. His role, critical and leading role, was in his soft, basically. His income was from that soft. The press was about that soft, and I think there was a few scientific publications about his soft. Okay, so that was a good case. We got him approved, and there you go. There you go. 5 criteria. There's another case that I can remember from the top of my head with 5 criteria, but that case is one of the cases I wanted to discuss with you today as a topic for today's stream. So I'll talk about it a little bit later. So Lily Vane, awards are not the must, provided that you have other 6 criteria to work with, or maybe 5 very good, deep, prestigious criteria. All right. So I think I broke down the answer to your question very well. All right. Very good question. Very good question. So let's go back to the topic of today's stream, guys, and those are top 5 inspiring immigration cases of 2023, and let's go from number 5. Let's go from number 5, and that's the case. And by the way, I hope you guys went to the webinar yesterday that I held in English. It was a very, very good webinar. Also, end of the year, a lot of good materials. If you guys don't go to my webinars, which I usually hold approximately once a month, I mean, you lose a lot of insights, because when we do the streams, yes, you can ask me a question and I answer them and everything is good and I give you the material, but the depth of those webinars, they're through the roof. Okay, this is very good. So if you don't go, make sure you go to them and spend like hour and a half with a very dense information coming at you. And this is important for you to understand all the intrinsics of the immigration process. Okay, so the case, so 5 cases. We're going backwards from 5 to 1. So case number 5. EB1A for long-range shooting. Okay, that's a sport category. And that's actually, the case was filed back in 2022, probably in summer, around July, I believe. And the client did not want expedited processing. And you guys know my opinion on expedited processing. I think it's a must. If you go with the immigrant, non-immigrant, whatever petition that is, I encourage you and recommend that you file the expedited processing. Okay, the 15 days, or sometimes it's 45 days if it's EB2NIW or EB1C. All right. Why I think you should do it? Well, because the statistics of my company shows that the cases that are going through expedited processing has a better chance of approval. Okay, it's not critical, it's not huge, but it's a little better. And sometimes that little plays a big role. Okay, so I'm a big fan of expedited processing, and I recommend and encourage you guys to do the same. So he didn't do it. Okay, a year passed. So we now in July 2023, the client is like, oh my God, why it's so long? It's been a year, la 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 la. And I tell him, hey, look, if you go to the processing time of the I-140 in that I can't remember, I think it was the Texas center, it's gonna tell you that they can take like, I don't know, like 36 months to adjudicate it. Okay, that's the official information. Yes, usually it happens within a year, but it could take forever. So there's nothing you can do about it. Or you can file I-907, 907, that's the petition, pay $2,500 and expedite your case. And that's what they did. So they finally decided to spend the money. They paid the $2,500. And we got an RFE. We got an RFE, and the client is from Kazakhstan, and the officer said, "Look, I don't see how your guy is at the top of the field. Okay, I don't see him at the top of the field. Like it doesn't look that way." So the fact in the case, and I think it's very important, was that my guy came to the US for the competition in a long-range shooting, and he got the first place, beating all the US athletes. Okay, and of course, and historically, the long-range shooting was like US sport, like US team was #1. So I asked that question in my response to RFE, and I was like, "Look, dear immigration officer, if my guy is not at the top of this field, who is? Because my guy beat your guy." Okay, and I told him straightforward. Look, my guy beat your guy, and look at the protocol of the competition. Like your guy is on the second place, my guy is on the first place, and your guys are presumably the best. So if my guy beat your guy, that means my guy is at the top of the field, right? So there was like a rhetorical question. We got approval. Okay, we got approval. I don't see how you can beat this argument. Okay, there's no way. It's like it's almost stupid to argue the other way around. Okay, so I think this was a really good case. I really liked it. It wasn't the strongest case, I believe, because this sport is very. It's not very popular, let's put it this way. Okay, so it was a hard case to do, but we managed. The client did the strategy, so everything was good. The fourth case number four, and that's EB3, the perm labor certification for marketing. Okay, and I have two cases. Same cases, both for marketing specialists in EB3 category. And guys, you'll be like, Stanislav, like why even you putting those cases like in your list, in your rating, in your chart? Because like it's EB3, like who cares? Well, yeah, you may be right, but if we are talking about EB3 cases or EB2 through perm labor certification, and those are in marketing, those are very, very hard cases to do. Why? Because USCIS presumes that there are so many marketing people here in the US that it's almost impossible not to find someone who is going to fit within whatever company that is. Okay, that's their position. They don't say it out loud. They don't like put like in the memorandum or the policy or whatever that is. They don't do it. But the way those cases go, they show their position. Okay, so every time when you have like a marketing specialist and whatever that content maker, the YouTuber, TikToker, or SMM, whatever, right? We take extra precautions. We make sure that every step is the way it should be, and we just, we're very careful of those cases, because some attorneys don't even take those cases. Okay, they're gonna be like, okay, I'm not gonna, I don't want to do the audit with the Department of Labor. I don't want to get an RFE through the USCIS. I don't want to deal with this. That's a lot of work, and there is no guarantee. It's just those are bad cases. Bad cases. Okay, I'm not like that. I'm not scared of the work. I don't care if we get an audit with the Department of Labor. I don't care if we get an RFE, because I know if we did everything by the law, by the book, we're gonna get approved. Okay, and that's my approach. So 2 cases. One was just smooth and no problem, and I do believe that there was no problem in that case, because the company was like in Wyoming or Wisconsin, like Lord knows what it is, some like far corner of the US, in a small town. Okay, and guys, if someone from Wyoming or Wisconsin, no disrespect, I love the states, but those are just 2 like very remote places. Okay, there's nothing going on there. So I think that one went very smooth, because like it was clear that in a small town, there may not be a marketing specialist of the sort that the company demanded. Okay, it just might be the case. So that one was no problem. But the other one, oh my goodness, there was a lot of problems. And we even had to refile and start over the prevailing wage, the perm certification, because we got a denial on the first one for the technical issue that was a new thing that the Department of Labor started using, and we could prove that we did everything by the book, but that would take us maybe a year and a half, maybe more, and we're like, okay, we're just not going to do this. Let's start the process again, okay, with the prevailing wage. And yes, it was a very emotional decision, and for the client, for the company who was sponsoring the foreigner. But again, sometimes things happen. Okay, and you just need to make hard decisions. Okay, difficult decisions. So we started the process again. Went much better. There was everything was good. We got the perm certification, no audit, no problem. And once you get through that process, like the I-140, the immigration is like, okay, no, it should be no problem, but not at this time. We got an RFE from immigration officer, and he said, look, you guys have to provide me with all the recruiting documents that you collected when you were testing the US labor market. And this is illegal. You can't, at the time of filing I-140, the immigration petition for EB3, ask for the paperwork that was presumably checked by Department of Labor. Okay? The law is very clear, guys. The Congress delegated that process to the Department of Labor, so USCIS doesn't have to do it. Okay? I was mad. Guys, I was mad when I saw that RFE. And look, I was professional, I was very polite, and I didn't show any emotion, but I clearly shown to the officer that he's mistaken. Okay? And the way I did it, I said, look, that's the law. That's what the Congress delegated. That's why they delegated that to the Department of Labor. So you don't have to bother. Okay? You have other things to look at, but that's not the one that you should look at. However, we still provided some paperwork. Okay? And I know I didn't have to. It was illegal request. But guys, again, my task is to get you approved, okay? And sometimes I will do things that I don't have to do, and maybe even the emotions and all this stuff, I still would do it because I want you to get approved. So the way I tackled this RFE, I said, look, this is a legal request. However, we are willing to give you that paperwork so you know everything was good. But if you make a denial, in this case, based on the paperwork that we provided to you, a legal request, we are going to take this case to the federal court. That's it. All right, that was my response. It was very polite, very professional, but very firm. Very firm. Okay, we'll file the request, bam, approval. So it was a good case. It was like a study case for everybody. And congratulations to our clients, the companies that got their employees that are doing good work for them right now. Case number 3, and we're going 5-1. Case number 3 is the case of cryptocurrency analyst. Guys, this was the first case in the industry in EB1A category for cryptocurrency analysts because this is a new industry. There's no people, there's no professionals in this industry yet. It's only forming. So there are no events, there are no there's some press, but it's very hard to make it a professional press. There is no competitions, there is no nothing, no associations, nothing. All right. So that was one of the cases I promised that I will be telling you about, where we filed with 5 criteria. And very hard case because there was nothing to compare this case to. All right, so it was very hard to prove that, first of all, the client is a professional, he's recognized professionals, and he's at the top of the field. It was very hard to do. I used a few very creative arguments. First of all, we used Telegram groups and Discord groups to satisfy the associations. Okay? I mean, look, I believe in every criteria that I file. Yep, but you know, sometimes I look at it and like, if this officer, like, if he has a little bit of doubt about this, you know, he can use it. Like, not that he can legally use it, but he can like psychologically use it. Okay, so like this is BS, right? It's not BS, but he can legitimately say that. So we also used YouTube as a major press. YouTube blogger who was interviewing my guy. All right, so a bunch of creative arguments. The client was from Ukraine, and 5 criteria. We filed it. We got an RFE. Okay, we got an RFE, and he took 2 criteria out of the 5. It looked like we got him. We got the immigration officer thinking our way, but he just wanted like a little push. So a few expert opinion letters, and that case happened when we were testing the NEO program, and you guys know the NEO program has no analogs in the world, where we help you to get the independent expert opinion letters for your case within the company. So we got a few of those through the pilot program at the time. We got a few letters from the States proving that he's at the top of the industry, that people want to work with him, and a few little things, and we got him approved. Okay, we got him approved. It was a really good case. I was very excited, and you guys know that I love cryptocurrencies. I believe Bitcoin is one of the best assets. It is the best asset in the human history, and it's going to be like that in the future. So I'm a big fan of the industry, and it was a personal win for me and for the company and for the client. So this is the top 3 case. Now we're going to the top 2 case. And the top 2 case is going to be the case of the influencer. Okay, social media influencer, the lady who is a YouTuber, and she's providing the content, she's making the content for the kids, and she's the one who is an expert to help to create the content for other YouTubers and TikTokers for the kids. Okay, that was O1B case. It wasn't EB1A, but I do believe she has a EB1 case as well. We were making O1B visa for her just because she wanted to come to the States faster. So I put this case on the second place because this is also very, very unusual industry, right? There's no competitions, there's no professional press about this, there is very little events and things like that, so it's hard to prove. But when the person is professional and recognized in the industry as such, you know, it's much easier. It's much easier. So in that case, actually, you know, there's a history to this case because. And I was telling you about this case, guys, last time, where the employer did not want to include in the job offer the sentences, basically the concepts that we were pushing, that I was pushing in those letters, and the problem was about the definition of an agent. So they wanted to be an agent for this for the client for the purposes of immigration law, for the purposes of O1. But they also wrote the agent in the state of Florida for the purpose of the state and the regulation of the agent in the content production. So we were pushing the agenda for the purpose of being agent for O1 visa, but for whatever reason they were like trying to mix it up with the licensing and permits on the level of the state, which has nothing to do. So they did not do what I was requiring them to do. I had to get the waiver from the employer to say that we are informed that we don't do what the attorney asked us to do, and we know the risks associated with that. So they signed this paper, we filed, and we got a denial based on that issue. Okay, so guys, if I recommend you something and I'm very firm in my recommendation, or sometimes it's not even a recommendation, it's a request or requirement, I suggest you follow that. Okay? Because there you go. That's what may happen. You may do whatever you want, but you know, you may get a denial. So, of course, I wasn't happy about, no one was happy about this, but hey, who knew? Okay, who knew? So we refiled, we put the language that we wanted, we got an approval. Okay, so there we go. That's also a study case for everybody. And now we're going to the top one case that I think one of the greatest cases, the inspiring immigration cases, and it's a personal win for me and for my company as well, because it's a case, it's actually two cases of my colleagues from other countries. Okay, attorneys from other countries, and I think those cases are very good for the purpose of study. And why? Because many, if not all, attorneys in this industry were saying that it's impossible to get EB1A for attorneys from other countries unless they have international recognition. Okay, and there's no such attorneys. Okay, and maybe if they are, I've never seen them that who have like top international recognition in the field. I don't know such attorneys. Maybe there are, but those attorneys that we got approval for, they are good attorneys, good professionals in the field, and you know, as I always say. And one was the lady, and one was the gentleman. The lady got also actually 5 criteria for the lady. Everything was good and smooth. The guy, we got him like with 7 or 8 criteria. He got an RFE. We responded, we got it approved, and guys, 2 approvals for attorneys for from other countries who do not have licenses to practice the law here in the US. Okay, so those are cases very close to my heart because they're my colleagues, very difficult cases, and it's a proof that we take the most difficult cases and achieve results for our clients. Okay, so I think this is important to understand. Okay, guys, we are 36 minutes in. I basically delivered everything that I wanted you to know about 2023. I see no additional questions from you, so that means that we are done. And we're gonna see each other in 2-3 weeks. I wish you the Merry Christmas. I wish you the Happy New Year. All the best to you and your families, to your relatives, to your loved ones, to whoever is close to your heart. I wish you guys do all the great things in 2024. And remember, your future begins here. Good luck.